Let's head to Fear Street for the first of 3 movies. Let's get into it. Hey, welcome back to my channel. Hope everyone's doing well out there. And today we're going to talk about Fear Street Part 1, 1994. Yes, now this is a trilogy of films. The next one gets released July 9th, this Friday. That one's called Fear Street Part 2, 1978. And then July 16th, the third and final part of the trilogy, Fear Street Part 3, 1666, drops on Netflix, which is pretty cool they did it that way. Now, these were originally shot to be theatrical films. They were shot through 20th Century Fox, well, through their production company with distribution through 20th Century Fox. But when 20th Century Fox was bought by Disney, they took back the distribution rights and sold them to Netflix, and that's why we're getting them now. And I think it's pretty cool they're doing it one each week for 3 weeks. I think it's pretty cool. This film is rated R. It's an hour and 47 minutes long. It's directed by Lee Janik, and she also helped co-write the script. And it was also one of the executive producers on this film is none other than Adam Wingard. He directed You're Next, The Guest, Godzilla vs. Kong, and 2016 Blair Witch Project. Now, this film is based on R.L. Stine's novels from the 90s, Fear Street novels. I'm not familiar with the source material, so I don't know how closely this ties into the novels. If you do know, leave a comment down below, let me know. And the biggest cast member in this film is Maya Hawke, the daughter of Ethan Hawke and Uma Thurman, and she was in Stranger Things Season 2 and 3, and I'm assuming Season 4. And that's where we start. The whole story takes place in Shadyside, this little town, and it's been cursed for hundreds of years because there's rumors going around about this witch that was killed way back in the 1600s, why the third part is called 1666. And the curse, the townspeople think the town's cursed because they've had very violent murders over hundreds of years. And it's continuing to this day. Being takes place in this mall. And the first 7-8 minutes of this film are spectacular. It's definitely a callback to Scream, the original Scream, 1996 Scream. Even the way it's shot, the music, because Marco Beltrami came in to do some music, and you can tell, definitely a callback to Scream. And Maya Hawke's character works in this bookstore, and when she's walking by the shelves, they have the Fear Street novels in the bookstore, and they're closing up at this mall. And she goes and talks to this teenager as well, about 18, 19-year-old guy that works in like a Spencer's type store across the hall. Asks him if he'll give her a ride home. He says sure. She goes back to her store. And right after this, a masked killer with a skull mask shows up. And we get an excellent stalk and slash scene. I don't want to ruin it, but it's nicely shot, nicely staged, very suspenseful, very well done. So this movie starts off with a bang, for sure. Now we start meeting our lead characters, and they're seniors in high school. And they even start talking about, like, our lead character's brother, Josh, is like a kind of a geeky dude. He's on AOL chat room. And I'm not even sure if AOL was around 94. Leave a comment down below if it was. And there's definitely a lot of 90s music in this film. Some songs didn't come out until a year or two after this film takes place. But you got More Human Than Human by White Zombie. You got Fear of the Dark by Iron Maiden. You got Machine Head by Bush. Radiohead's Creeps in this film. And there's a lot of other recognizable songs. They must have spent a ton of money on just using music in this film. And all of a sudden, there's this car accident one night because they get in this car on the way back from this football game. There's this car accident, and our lead character's girlfriend disturbs this grave, but they don't know it, of the witch that the town thinks they're cursed by. And all of a sudden, these serial killers start showing up and killing people, trying to get to this girl. And that's pretty much the crux of the whole film, where these teenagers are trying to avoid these killers, stay alive, and find a way to stop this curse before it kills Sam, our main character's girlfriend. And we get some nice scenes of stalk and slash. There's definitely a slasher film, but there's supernatural elements, there's witchcraft involved, which I'm assuming they're going to elaborate as we go forward in the next 2 films. Although the next one I hear is like a straight up camp slasher film, and they set that up during this film too. They even talk about the 78 film, or the incident in 78 and 1666 in this film. They're definitely setting up the whole trilogy, which is pretty cool. And even the credit sequence after the opening 7-8 minutes is pretty cool. It definitely shows you like newspaper clippings and different pictures of what's to come as we go through this trilogy. So I thought that was really cool how they set this up. Overall, I did enjoy this film. I do have some complaints about it. I think the actors are fine. The only thing is I don't buy them as 90s kids. I don't buy them at all as 90s kids. And besides the music, I never felt like this film took place in the 90s, other than there's no cell phones, really. I mean, the music's a great callback, and they definitely use it to give you that nostalgia feeling. But honestly, this could have took place now. I just didn't buy that it was the 90s besides the musical aspect. The kids didn't act like they were 90s kids. Take that for what it is. It didn't deter me from liking the film. I still enjoyed the film. And my other complaint is I think the film's a tad too long. They hit the ground running fast and furious, and then they set up the plot. And in the middle part, it drags a little bit. Like, they focus on this relationship, and I think they focus a little too much. Because the film loses steam in the middle part until we get to our supermarket finale, which is a callback to Intruder, by the way. And the finale is fine. I like the finale, but it's that middle section that drags the film down. It's only an hour and 47 minutes long, but I swear they could have shaved about 5 to 10 minutes off this film. Because there's not enough here to warrant the extra runtime. There's definitely some padding in the middle. They could have cut that love story out together and just made all these kids friends that might have had a crush on each other, but I don't know. Overall, I still had a good time with it. It's not perfect, but I'm definitely interested in watching the next 2 films to see where they go. And again, the next one comes out this Friday, so I'm excited to see where it definitely takes place in 1978 at a summer camp. So I'm thinking Friday the 13th territory we're going to get here. And this film, we get to call back to Scream and Intruder, definitely. It's definitely a callback to slasher films for sure, and they play it serious. They don't make fun of the genre. Overall, I did have a good time with it. It's an easy watch. Like I said, it does drag a little bit in the middle, but overall, I enjoyed myself. I would give Fear Street Part 1 a 7 out of 10. I really did enjoy it. I think the acting's pretty good. So yeah, have you seen Fear Street Part 1 yet? I just gave it a 7 out of 10. Leave a comment down below, let me know. Hit the thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, share this video. I greatly would appreciate that. I'll be back soon with a review for the Tomorrow War, and then I'm going to do Fear Street Part 2, and then Friday the 13th Part 2, and so on and so forth as we go through the rest of the summer and into the fall for Halloween season. But until then, I hope you're all doing well out there. I'm just going to say bye.